Before one can ground at the void level, one must first know what the void is. So what is the void? In ancient times, our ancestors recognized the existence of four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Earth represents all solid things. Water represents all liquid things. Air represents all gaseous things. And fire represents all energy. Over time, our ancestors began to perceive the existence of a fifth element. This quintessence has been equated with the spirit, or the soul, or the place of no place, and the time of no time. It is the beginning and the end of all things. It is what remains when all else is stripped away. To take up the Wyrding Way, the seeker must leave the ordinary world behind and journey to the world of the spirit. When traveling to the void, we enter the realm of potential and possibilities. The void is where all existence is born. It is the source of all things. It is the sacred well of wisdom. It is the birthplace of all that is, all that was, and all that will ever be. Because the void is the source of all things, it is also at the center of all things. When a vision seeker in the Wyrding Way travels to the void, they are at the hub of creation. To stand at the center of all things is to have all possibilities opened up before you. To stand at the center of the void is to be present at the center of all knowledge and all wisdom. It is the act of drinking from the sacred well. In the Wyrding Way, the first step in leaving the ordinary world lies in learning to travel to the void. To begin the journey, one must have the proper motivation and the proper attitudes. Only then can the seeker travel to the center. In the Wyrding Way, grounding at the void level has always been left for practitioners to discover for themselves. This is because the void level is such a deeply personal level of being that no one else can give another advice on how it should be done. Among practitioners of the Wyrding Way, it is known that every object, no matter how great or small, contains a life force. From the tiniest grain of sand to our planet, our sun, our galaxy, and all the galaxies in the universe contain a measure of life or the potential for life. When one who walks the Wyrding Way finds harmony with this life force, they are also at peace with all other forms of the life force. When the seeker is not in harmony, then the energy that is born of conflict is created. This conflict is not necessarily a bad thing. If there were no friction between opposites, nothing could have ever come into existence. The universe was born of the friction between fire and ice. So there are times when it's appropriate for the forces to be out of balance. If there is no imbalance among forces, there is no opportunity for energy to flow. But eventually, as the conflict is resolved, the forces again achieve harmony. They achieve balance, and this balance leads to peace. It is my belief that this harmony of the forces is what others have called God. It is the unity of all things and all life forces at the center of the void. The attitude of the vision seeker at the void level is the attitude of reduction. If you wish to build a new home from old stone, you must first tear down the old home. This also applies to knowledge and wisdom. Before you can begin to build something new, you must tear down the old by challenging your preconceptions and your assumptions. Then, and only then, if you would gain wisdom, you must first learn to reduce the study of anything to its barest essentials. Ultimately, it can be reduced to two possibilities. Either a thing is, or a thing is not. When you have stripped a problem down to its most basic elements, the solution becomes easier. Learn to focus on solutions rather than on problems, and you will not waste energy being unbalanced. Remember also that sometimes there are problems for which there is no solution. To be grounded at the void level is to accept this fact. The key to such acceptance is to always strive to make things as simple as possible, but not simpler than possible. You must call upon your own inner wisdom to discern this when seeking solutions. If you're met with a problem that cannot be solved, ask yourself what would have to change about your own thinking so that you can accept that this problem cannot be solved. The next step is to learn to care for the body. This means not only taking care of your body's physical needs, but also grounding yourself before beginning any work in the Wyrding Way. It means learning the proper way to breathe for rituals and the proper posture with which to carry yourself while engaging in the rites. It also means learning to conduct energy within the body. Finally, it means being able to seek and to use the natural energies of the earth and of the natural world that surrounds you. Channeling energy through the body in this way is not something that can be taught. It is something that must be experienced. It's like being in love for the first time. Love cannot be described to one who has never been in love. It must be experienced. And like love, you will not have to be told when you find it. You will know it when you experience it for the first time. There are 5 breaths in the Wyrding Way. Quiet breathing is the breath we do naturally when we are not consciously focusing on our breathing. It is regular and even, not requiring any effort or concentration to achieve. This type of breathing is done for starting or ending a meditation, or for going about daily activities. Deep breathing is done by filling the lungs to their capacity from the diaphragm and then exhaling. To exhale during a deep breath, you would start with the lower reaches of the abdomen, pushing the air out there first, then through the lower chest, then through the upper chest. Finally, expel any remaining air by rapidly contracting the abdomen muscles. To inhale in deep breathing, reverse this process. Take the air into your upper chest first, then your lower chest, then your upper abdomen, and finally your lower abdomen. It may help to visualize the air as colored light entering your body. As the air enters and leaves your body, focus your attention on the sensations you experience along the way. Deep breathing is a slow and deliberate method of breathing When you gain experience with this technique, you will be able to slow your breathing to no more than 2 or 3 breaths per minute. Deep breathing is used to achieve clarity, serenity, and calmness. Fast breathing is rapid, deep breathing. Fast breathing is best used in short bursts of no more than 30 seconds to 1 minute of duration. The purpose of fast breathing is to clear the throat and nasal passages in preparation for deep breathing or breath of fire. The dragon's breath, or the breath of fire, is a special type of deep breathing. You begin the dragon's breath by inhaling using the deep breathing breath. As soon as your lungs are completely full, rapidly exhale. Think of blowing out a candle. This rapid exhalation should be audible. Dragon's breath begins slowly and then gradually speeds up. When done properly, the breath of fire or the dragon's breath should sound like a locomotive gaining speed. Do this for no more than 3 sets of 9 breaths, pausing briefly between each set. The breath of fire charges the entire nervous system, leaving you relaxed yet energized. It should be used when a major undertaking is about to take place that will require a lot of energy work. This is especially useful before conducting a ritual. Breath of the sea is accomplished exactly like deep breathing, but with holding your breath at the peak of each inhalation and exhalation. Picture a wave breaking upon the seashore. Note how it hesitates for a moment before it breaks, and you'll understand how to do breath of the sea. Experiment with holding your breath for short counts at first, then gradually build up to longer counts. Try not to exceed a count of 9 beats while holding your breath. Start with 1 deep breath, followed by a hold for a count of 1. Then exhale and hold for a count of 1. On the next breath, hold for a count of 2, then 3, and so on until reaching 9. Breath of the sea is useful for relaxing and meditating after a period of exertion, such as exercise, walking, or doing energy work. As you experiment with the 5 breaths, consider which ones are the most useful for which activities. When you have mastered them all, you will be grounded at the void level.